To show myself love, well, most recently, I can answer this currently. To show myself love currently, I spend time forgiving myself. And that's a journey that I've been exploring because I don't know how to do it, but I'm learning how and constructing it for myself, what that actually means. I've been told forgiveness is such a key component for many aspects of one's life, but for me personally, I didn't really intimately understand what that meant. And to forgive myself for me now means to register how I've been treating myself and offer myself love regardless of what that looked like. And so it has created a loop of love toward myself through this portal of forgiveness in any format, in terms of like, yesterday I kind of talked to myself bad, or yesterday I didn't act the way that I wanted to, or yesterday I yelled at my husband or whatever it was. And it's in each of those scenarios, like, can I forgive myself? Can I forgive the part of me that didn't know any better, couldn't do any different, couldn't act or be any other way? And through that acceptance that portal of forgiveness is offering me, that's how I love myself right now. It's a practice. It's practice, not the game.
Self-forgiveness is not an off switch, but a process that happens over time through emotional work and reflection. Self-forgiveness requires striking a balance between taking responsibility and maintaining a positive sense of self. When you successfully find this equilibrium, you reach self-forgiveness. In psychology, the concept of self-forgiveness is still relatively new and involves a combination of emotional, motivational, and behavioral changes. Enright and the Human Development Study Group were the first to offer a concrete psychological definition of self-forgiveness as a willingness to abandon self-resentment in the face of one's acknowledged objective wrong, while fostering compassion, generosity, and love towards oneself. The Human Development Study Group highlighted 3 important pillars of self-forgiveness. 1. The release of negative emotions directed toward the self. 2. The cultivation of positive emotions directed towards the self. 3. An acceptance of responsibility. Releasing self-directed negative emotions. When we do something bad, wrong, or against our values, we may be greeted with painful, negative emotions such as shame, guilt, resentment, or anger. We may also have negative thoughts about ourselves, such as, "It's all my fault," or "I'm a terrible person." Self-forgiveness does not mean we skip the step of feeling bad. It simply means that we work through these feelings of self-resentment and then relieve ourselves of them once they've served their purpose. Initially, remorseful feelings can be useful because they motivate us to make amends. Cultivating self-directed positive emotions. As well as putting our negative emotions in our rearview mirror, Self-forgiveness involves fostering benevolent thoughts and emotions toward the self in the form of self-compassion, love, and kindness. Through self-compassion, we can appreciate our shared humanity and acknowledge that we are all flawed and all make mistakes. Acknowledging and accepting responsibility. If you were to only absolve yourself of negative emotions and shower yourself with positive emotions, this would be pseudo-self-forgiveness. True self-forgiveness involves recognizing the wrongness of your actions. When a person has caused harm to another, Doctors Cornish and Wade suggest that self-forgiveness should also include an other-focused component, where the person seeks to make amends with the person they've wronged and recommit to their values. They suggest this would make it less likely that the offense would happen again. In their model, they discuss the 4 R's of genuine self-forgiveness that could be applied in a counseling setting. 1. Responsibility. The person seeking forgiveness takes responsibility and does not lay blame elsewhere. 2. Remorse. Cornish and Wade suggest the individual should work through difficult emotions like shame and guilt to more offense-specific emotions like remorse, which are more likely to motivate people to make reparations. 3. Restoration. The next step is to actively try to make things right, repair relationships, and reaffirm any moral values that were broken. 4. Renewal. This is a place of self-forgiveness, renewed self-compassion, and self-respect. Through this process, the individual achieves moral growth. You might wonder about the people who have no wrong to take responsibility for, as well as breaking the moral codes of our communities. We may chastise ourselves for not meeting some internal, unrealistic, or perfectionist standard. You might beat yourself up for failing a driving test or losing a sports competition. Although you believe you failed or let people down in some way, there is no ill intention, no amends to be made, and no one to apologize to. In this case, developing a more accurate understanding of the limits of responsibility you can reasonably place on yourself could help you unburden yourself of misplaced or excessive perceived responsibility. When working with people to reach self-forgiveness in a counseling setting, self-forgiveness may not be an appropriate focus for healing. For example, when working with victims of a sexual assault, taking responsibility is not warranted, and encouraging self-forgiveness could actually compound harmful feelings of self-blame. Additionally, someone who continues to harm another person, for example, in the case of domestic abuse, is not fully accepting responsibility for their actions. It's possible that relieving negative self-directed feelings through premature self-forgiveness could dull the incentive to change behavior. How to forgive yourself. 8 steps. To foster self-forgiveness in a self-directed way, the following are 2 fundamental aims of the process: working towards acknowledging responsibility and reaffirming your worth. To break it down even further, Here are 8 steps you can take to work towards self-forgiveness. Number 1, identify. Identify the events or behaviors you wish to forgive yourself for. Number 2, explore. Explore your responsibility for what happened. To what extent were you responsible? 3, accept and experience remorse. When you have acknowledged your level of responsibility, try to accept this responsibility. Remorseful feelings that arise may be difficult to sit with, so be kind to yourself in this process. 4, notice thoughts and feelings. Be mindful of your thoughts and look to challenge perfectionist thinking or any unreasonable standards you're holding yourself to. If you're feeling guilt or shame, try to understand this in the context of this one unique event or behavior. Avoid generalizing these feelings to you as a person. Focus on your actions, not your character. 5, make amends. Make amends when possible with the person you've harmed. If there are no amends to be made, consider whether you're being reasonable in blaming yourself. Number 6, recommit. Learn from the experience and continue to make choices that are in line with your values. By recommitting to your values, you reaffirm that your principles are important to you, which can lead to personal growth. Number 7, nurture compassion. Try to build up good feelings about yourself and get into a more compassionate mindset. How would you speak to a friend who was going through the same thing? Number 8, let go. Let go of any negative feelings about yourself. Notice whether any behaviors or unhelpful thinking processes are continuing the cycle of self-punishment. You're not pretending it didn't happen. You're simply acknowledging that continuing to resent yourself is no longer useful. Treat yourself with compassion and validate your value as a person, perhaps with the use of affirmations or guided meditations.
Letting go of the past, forgiving myself for things that I did because of the knowledge that I had at the time, or it was the best I could do. Yeah.
Self-forgiveness is necessary for us to move on, learn from our mistakes, and ultimately lead a more fulfilling life. For some people, self-forgiveness may feel like an insurmountable mountain to climb alone. Compassion-focused therapy can help people develop their ability to manage their emotions and the emotions of others. Some core competencies developed during compassion-focused therapy include attention sensitivity. This is a state of mindfulness, looking at and being aware of the suffering of others and the negative feelings we experience as a result. Sympathy. The distress of others can evoke emotions within us, which can motivate us to pursue self-forgiveness. Distress tolerance. This is the ability to tolerate difficult feelings and the negative thoughts and beliefs associated with these feelings. Empathy. Empathy is connecting on an emotional level with the self and others. This is fundamental to deepening an awareness of the consequences of our actions and connecting with our shared humanity. Non-judgment. Non-judgment is letting difficult thoughts and feelings in and sitting with them, and observing the experience from a compassionate perspective. Through sessions, the counselor can encourage you to get in touch with your most compassionate self and ask you questions to help you understand what you need to do for yourself to reach self-forgiveness. Affirmations are positive statements that can help people reconnect with a more compassionate mindset. Using them regularly can help people turn the volume down on negative self-talk and amplify more positive self-affirming thoughts. Here are 20 self-forgiveness affirmations that you can try. I am worthy of self-forgiveness. I am human and sometimes I make mistakes. I have learned from my mistakes. I forgive myself for what I did. No one is defined by one mistake or one incident. I have let go of feelings of guilt and shame. I forgive myself as I would forgive others. I deserve to treat myself with compassion and kindness. I love, forgive, and accept myself with all of my imperfections. I am worthy of others' love and acceptance, just as I am. By accepting responsibility for what happened, I have achieved personal growth. I deserve to be able to move on with my life. I welcome kindness, compassion, and love into my life. I care about others and am accountable for my actions. I am wiser today than yesterday because I have learned from my mistakes. I deserve to speak kindly to myself. Making mistakes is an opportunity to gain wisdom. Forgiveness is a strength. Punishing myself forever is unhelpful to me and others. I will continue to live in line with my values as best as I can, as I always have.